Hey, everybody, welcome back to Business Uncensored. My name is Ryan Shear. We talk about industry. We talk about industry, sales, businessy things, and non-businessy ways. That's what this show is. And today, I have Cory Chase with me. And please go Google Cory Chase and realize that this is not the person I'm talking to because they don't have their tits out. Cory Chase.
Huh? I was saying I could, but it would get really uncomfortable really quickly.
We're pretty all accepting audience here, so I mean, you do whatever you want because I can turn your damn screen off.
So. Cushion a bit. We're both taking our shirts off and doing the same our shirts off.
Travis Kelce, you guys are all in that realm now. Hey, try living here, motherfucker. All right, so
sorry,
I live in Missouri. Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's all we see. But anyway, so today we're gonna tackle IT. Not the little creepy clown that kills children, but the creepy people that do stuff with routers. I don't know. I know Dick all about IT, but welcome to the show, Cory.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So yeah, this is going to be like any other interview and other podcasts because we really just want the truth. And so one of the first things is with IT. Please explain to us what IT is. Is it programming your grandma's VCR? Is it changing batteries for your wife? Like, what is actually IT?
It's actually yes. I mean, if we look at the whole genesis of IT, I think programming your grandmother's VCRs, I think where a lot of us got started in the 80s. I was like, no, I can program this shit. Look, it's going to come on every Thursday at 7:55, and you're not going to miss an episode of Matlock ever again, Grandma.
So, and that's where you found your love for it. So
I wouldn't say love, but I do. It's a love-hate relationship. I mean, when you say IT, it is very broad. So when someone tells you they're in IT, they could be the guy that goes around and swaps out a mouse at somebody's desk, or they could be some guy that's working on a heavy-ass firewall, putting in all these rules to protect you from getting hacked from North Korea. So it's a wide spectrum.
So what does the initials IT stand for?
Information technology, which is the dumbest fucking thing. I mean, how broad? I mean, how generic can you be? Oh, I'm in information technology. So what do you do? I shit a lot.
Does that mean I'm in waste management?
Exactly. No. Exactly. It's like information technology. It's technology that revolves around information. Okay.
That's TV Guide. Yeah. It pretty much is really a catch-all thing.
Yeah, it really is because it's like, well, what do you do with that information? You manage it, yes. Well, how do you manage it? Well, how do you not? I mean, it's everything that goes from like somebody's thumb drive to some mythical place up in the cloud. The data is everywhere. It's omnipresent. It exists in every format and in every place. And we're the people we're the stewards of your data. We're the ones making sure you can actually get onto your computer and access your data, access your information, access whatever the fuck it is you need to do when you get to work.
So I guess the burning question I have for anybody in IT, why are the people that join your industry so fucking weird?
We have a lot of those. We have we have a lot of people that can be very animated and charismatic, like myself. I am the rarity, and then you've got your typical shoegazer who's just going to stand there and be like, "Did you try turning it on and off again?" And they're very meek, they're very quiet, and they don't like people. And unfortunately, you have to kind of like people to be in this, or you have to be incredibly, incredibly smart and work in like systems where you're talking directly to the MCP. You know, this is like Tron. You know, I only work with this. What was it, Office Space? No, you need me to talk to the engineers because I can translate. We do have people that you should never put in front of a user. And I've watched, when I worked at one place, I had 2 other IT guys get into a fist fight, which was awesome, number one. But number 2, this just tells you the complete dynamic of the kinds of people that work in IT. We had one guy who was incredibly brilliant where it's leave him at his computer, he puts his headphones on, and he makes shit happen. And we have another guy that's a lot more gregarious, very talkative, go to people, and they got on some sort of pissing match about something stupid, and it was a fist fight over IT-related shit. I couldn't even tell you what it was because you were just so focused on, should I stop this or should I start getting other people in and getting the over-unders and making money on this?
You should never stop a fist fight. That's what I've learned in life, is that you just watch. Like, how often really as grown-ups do you see a fist fight?
And at work.
Why would you stop that? Why would you stop though? I'm like, all right, let's watch. All right, let's see what happens.
I mean, I watched them in junior high. I mean, I didn't have the build. I was a spectator, and I was at least one or two people deep. Having height helped.
Yeah, but no, so yeah. When you're in school, fistfights are all common and shit. Like, everybody's hitting everybody, everybody's doing whatever. And kind of in your 20s a little bit, if you're a bar rat and somebody looks at your girl wrong, or you're the guy looking at that other girl's wrong, you got to throw up a few times. I get that. But yeah, as 40-year-old or upper men, you hardly ever see a fist fight. So no, I wouldn't stop it.
No, it was. I'm going to say it was enjoyable. I mean, it was the highlight of working at that one place. Like, what do you remember from working there? I'm like, well, it was high stress and there was a fist fight.
What is one of the weirdest requests that you've personally have got when somebody finds out you work in IT and they don't understand exactly, there's narrow definitions, but they find out you work in IT. So you get a request.
I work in IT and all of a sudden it's just like, well, I'm having this problem at home with my printer, or I'm having this problem accessing this website, and I just tell them, I'm like, well, that's not the kind of IT I do. And I leave it at that and walk away before I get the follow-up question.
So nothing weird?
Nothing really weird, no. The greatest thing I ever read was a guy named Ray about 15, 20 years ago that was doing IT work for lonely housewives, and the barter system was alive and well for him.
That goes back to go Google Cory Chase. That if you want stuff like that, but does that? Yeah, I don't see IT as being that big of a thing that happens, because I've noticed some people in IT don't like to shower. So maybe he was the one, because anime festivals and IT have a high rate of crossover.
There's a Venn diagram there, absolutely.
There is a big diagram, so IT is not one of those places.
And the sci-fi cons as well. Yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars and Star Trek jokes that get dropped. Or no, not jokes, references. When I say jokes, they're more like Monty Python bits, but those are me mostly.
So are you more Star Trek or Star Wars?
You know what? I can go either way. I like them both, and I'm not like a.
You're bisexual?
Yes, I'm not a rabid fan of either. I can appreciate both for where they stand in the spectrum. Don't get me wrong. I grew up, I saw Star Wars as a kid in the theater like 7 or 8 times. Huge fan of that. But also watched Star Trek on TV. So it's like, I like sci-fi. So leave it at that. I read Tolkien. I like the fantasy. I have a degree in medieval literature. So
wait. A full fucking degree in medieval literature.
Yes, I do, and that's why I'm in IT.
Yeah, no. So as much, I'm trying to decide whether to go down this fucking rabbit hole. So medieval literature. What do they teach you in medieval literature?
Okay, so my first introduction into it is I was working one summer, so I got back to register for my classes late, and one of the only classes open was Geoffrey Chaucer in Middle English. So you're looking at something that is pretty much a foreign language until you're actually kind of saying it aloud, and you're like, oh, it's very, what's the word? Phonic.
Yeah.
So I kind of fell down that route, but I'd also been taking a lot of math and sciences leading up to that because I have a mathematics minor. Mm-hmm. A lot to unpack here, I understand. And it was after I graduated, I fell in with a computer company that needed help with their contracts. And I said, well, I can do spreadsheets. I can do your databases, whatever. And then one day I walk in the back and said, so who's backing this shit up? And then my IT career began right from there.
So, so name one real world experience where you use this degree.
Wow. I think when I can reference and pick up and drop Shakespeare or some sort of like line somewhere and someone goes, what the fuck was that? I think that's about all I can do. I think it's because it makes me more well-rounded than the other person next to me.
Well,
I can carry on a conversation
what?
with anyone.
Autistic people without any education can do the same thing.
Absolutely. And they probably do it much better than me.
Right. So that's I don't know if I'm accepting that as the real world.
No, you're right.
Of it.
There really is no real world other than if someone like laid some like Chaucer from me. Oh, I can read this shit.
Right. Yeah.
You can't. I can.
Well, if someone you love is ever kidnapped and they write the ransom note in that speech.
Yes.
You know, hey, that's a good idea for a TV show, right? That a serial killer that only writes in medieval languages are going around, and you're the only person that knows how to read it.
Right. He gets pictures and he illuminates them, and that's by drawing, pictures and all sorts of like bright and weird shit around it, going, "I wasn't wearing pants that day," or whatever.
You're like one of the 3 people on Earth and go, that Da Vinci Code shit's awful. That's not the way that's said.
No. I did read those books, but
okay. See, I'm not far off.
I did read them, but actually, when it came to Dan Brown, I liked the first one, or which one? Angels and Demons. That was the strongest of the.
I should probably learn how to read at some point. So,
reading is very important in today's day and age.
Really? Is it?
And it helps.
I can say, "Hey Siri," and say whatever the hell I want, and it writes it for me.
Yeah, there is that too. But I mean, a lot of books are getting banned, so I don't know what's going to be left. I mean, in Florida, we just banned the dictionary for whatever fucking reason. Right. You can't make this shit up.
How do you ban a dictionary?
I really don't know.
Now, you're working in information technology. You should. See how I draw that back in after we. Yeah.
I saw that you brought that back. Very good. You know what? That is kind of, they ban books and they ban all sorts of shit, but it's like, folks, there's YouTube out there. And if you Google Cory Chase, I guarantee you're going to find more, you're going to get a better education looking up that name than you will from the dictionary. You'll also learn the acronym ATM, and it's not for what's outside your bank.
No. It's for what's outside your Never mind. Let's just go there. There's also this fun story about there was a maid from Ireland, and she hooks up and she becomes this friendship with this kind of college girl from California, and they're wanting to make coffee. And I believe the name of that story is 2 Girls in 1 Cup. So if you want to know about this intricate medieval tale of whatever, it's
I mean, I hear it was a very good grind. The coffee blend, yes. If you like your coffee really dark, sometimes if you're not really using a strainer right, it can be a little chunky.
They say sometimes that the coffee you could cut it with a knife. Like the coffee was so strong you could cut it with a knife. I believe they have some of this. Yeah.
Yeah, and it had a very nutty finish, if I recall.
What the fuck has happened to this show? Although I do have to point out, so I've met you in real life, but you've got this great Married with Children background. I love it. I generally don't like the backgrounds like this, but it's fine. It's fine. I like you, except for the fact that you have
my office is a fucking mess. So.
Right. Well, yeah. You should see the other side of this.
Exactly.
Right. But the way that your headphones are and it's doing, you look like fucking Danny DeVito, dude.
Oh my God. I'm a little taller than that.
Well, you're setting down. Everybody's the same size.
I know everyone's.
But literally, like how it is. Like I want you to say some like Frank Reynolds Always Sunny shit right now. Is what I want you to do.
Oh, I can't produce it that quick. All I can think about is Taxi.
Taxi's fine.
With DeVito, it always goes back to Taxi and Louie. Just screaming.
It really does.
Oh.
I vaguely remember that show. I remember my parents watched it, and So tell me this as we just totally get off of our subject about IT or whatever. Okay. Is that how old are you? I know we're relatively close, but you're 52. I am 46 today. So
merry birthday.
Thank you. And this won't be produced today, so whenever you watch this, it's not my fucking birthday anymore. But anyway, Still free to send me gifts or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
I went back and I tried to watch like Taxi, Night Court, Cheers, stuff like that. Stuff that I watched when I was a kid. You're a little bit older than me, so there's that weird gap. But I was like, when this stuff was on, I was 10. My parents and grandparents watched it. I went back and tried to watch it. This shit is just depressing as fuck. Like I don't know what it was about that era of TV. Like our family thought it was fun and they got some funny parts. But if you think about it, Night Court was incredibly depressing if you just try to watch that. The aesthetic, the view, what these people were going through. Cheers, It was a bar and everybody's always mad or fighting with their wife or doing whatever. Taxi was a bunch of blue-collar assholes that were just trying to screw each other over. Like it wasn't as fun as I remember it when I was a kid.
Wow, you just ruined them.
Good.
I mean, I understand. Okay, Taxi, I agree. Cheers, not so much. I like that they kept it in the same setting and you had a lot of the same characters. So yes, you did get, yes, these people are alcoholics. I think that's what you're getting at here. Yeah. Is that their trajectory in life is not ending well.
Yeah. And I've never hung out at a bar more than a year of my life that that group of people cycles out because of the alcohol and the badness.
Right. No, I don't think I've been any place other than work where I'm recognized like that. Yeah. No, you're right. I think if I was a frequent in a bar, there'd probably be bigger issues. That's a valid point. I don't like to look at it that way, but Night Court, absolutely, because these are the people getting booked at night and the horrible things they've done. And yes, there's some comedy in it, but you're right. There's not a lot of uplift because it's like, okay, what happened to a lot of these people after they left there?
Right. Yeah, no. So you look at the 90s, which have like Friends and Seinfeld, which is like whatever. Yeah. Right. And whatever. And you get into more peppy, less real, less whatever. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what was going on in the 80s in sitcoms, but when you go back and try to rewatch that from when you were a kid to when you're an adult, that shit is just depressing. So,
no, I can see that. Yeah, the 90s, they tried to undo it, and then we got reality TV where everything went, and then that's, I think, when I stopped watching television.
Man, I like some television, right? Some of the television that I like is bad. We all have our guilty pleasure TV, right?
Of course.
I can honestly say I've never seen an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians or anything like that.
Nope.
But one of the shows that I watch and it just makes me happy is 90 Day Fiancé.
Okay. Do you like to watch it because you know that as awful and as horrible as things are happening to these people, you go, ain't happening to me?
Like, I think so, because TLC, which is the Learning Channel, which is a thing of discovery, right, is really the sideshow channel. It's that's what it is. You've got Little People, you've got Sister Wives, you've got 300-Pound Life, you've got Hoarder, you've got you've got all these different things happening. And if you don't know what 90 Day Fiancé is that there's a thing called a K-1 visa, and if you meet, let's say I go on a trip to Jamaica, I meet a wonderful Nubian princess, and I want to bring her home with me, and she's got to file for a K-1 visa. Right. She got to file for a K-1 visa. So when she gets that filed, it's like a 2-year process. She comes over here. We have 90 days to get married, or she got to get the fuck out.
Wow.
So that's it. And then, of course, they're in all reality TV. They're handpicking and cherry picking the most extreme and most weird of these subcultures. So and there's like 9 seasons, 8 versions of the show. I think there's something like 300 total episodes. If you take the single life before the 90 days, 90 days the other way, blah, 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 all this other thing. Right. So It is just relationship train wreck after relationship train wreck after relationship train wreck. Like, you'll get these cutesy couples that make it. And you're like, oh, fuck them. Yeah. bring on the girl that screams at her husband and hits him with a frying pan in the face 3 times a day. That's what I'm here for. Like,
you're there for the fist fight.
I'm there for the fist fight and the drama, because I went to enough therapy to buy a fucking house, man. And I learned that I love chaos, but I learned through therapy that chaos doesn't love me, and I live a very calm life now. So now when I watch it, man, I just realized something. I think it just reminds me of my mom and dad.
Okay. So it's really therapy for you is what you're saying.
Oh, no, it's a shit show, and I love to watch it.
Okay. You know what? Everyone likes to watch a fire.
If you have never watched it, just randomly
not.
Just randomly pick an episode in the mid-seasons of one of them and watch it. Have no context of what's going on. Go to season 5, watch episode 4, and just hit play, and you tell me you're like, all right, I'm going to back up and see what the fuck's going on now. And you will get addicted.
Okay. All right. I mean, a trash can fire is a trash can fire from any angle.
It really is. But no, you'll catch the allure of it when you do that.
Okay. All right. I can do that. Yeah. A reality TV's just never been appealing. I mean, yes, I get it. There are those where you're just like, yeah, I don't care if it's scripted or not. There's been some that you're like, oh yeah, this worked. This was fun.
Yeah.
And then there's others you're like, why did can I have my time back, please?
Can I have my life back? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I watched Survivor Big Brother when they first came out. And it's that novelty factor. You're like, all right, let's see where this is going. What are they doing? And then you're like, okay, we're done.
Do you remember the granddaddy of all reality shows?
All right. Which is the granddaddy?
Real World on MTV.
Oh, yeah. See, by that point, I had kind of already outgrown it. When MTV stopped showing music, I stopped watching MTV.
But Real World on MTV is basically Big Brother. But it was done way before Big Brother. This was,
yes.
I was 15, 16 when this shit was on. So that would have been 30 years. Holy shit, 30 years ago. And they were already in multiple seasons. But yeah, they just brought people from all over the world, all these 20-year-old people that were trying to fuck each other or hated each other, and put them in a house and threw a bunch of cameras in there. And because of them, that was really kind of the birth of this trashy TV. And now we have, it still works to this day. It still works.
I think people like to see that, either, like I said, as a juxtaposition to their own lives, to be like, well, my life's not as shitty as that, or they like to watch the dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the dumpster fire effect, because the whole thing is, I'll watch 600 Pound Life and sit there with like 2 pizzas and a tub of ice cream and go, well, at least I'm not that guy.
Yeah. But I'm gonna work my way up there.
No, we're not gonna work our way up, because I've got 400 pounds to go. So before I get there, so I've got a ways. But because I watch like my wife watches The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, and there's all these like young dudes on there, and they're all like model looking, and I'm just like, man, I just look like a fat Conor McGregor and shit, and I'm getting fat and old, and my beard's turning gray and shit. It just makes me feel bad. But I turn on 600 Pound Life, and I'm like, I'm fucking doing okay.
I'm like, I'm doing better than that dude.
It's the same way as when I got to clean my house. I just turned on Hoarders and went, hey, not that bad. I'm going to move.
I don't have to light the place on fire. There is that.
No, because that's what the Learning Channel is for. You learn how to avoid your shit by watching their shows.
That's true. I did watch the old, what is it? The HGTV,
Mm-hmm.
when they would go into people's house that were hoarders, and they have to like the 3 big tarps. You can keep this. You can discuss this one, and this is the one you get rid of. Great methods.
No, absolutely wonderful methods
for getting rid of your shit. It's not a bad idea.
Man, Hoarders was one of those things. I went down that rabbit hole until I realized, like the birth of streaming TV, when you could watch the same show for 7 or 8 hours, right? It would be, there were certain shows that you can binge, and there's certain shows you can't binge. If you binge Hoarders, 300 or 600 Pound Life, all these, you changes your outlook on life. Like, you'll just walk outside and you're just like, life is horrible.
Yeah, I'm
gonna go drink.
Stimulation overload. It's too much.
Well, while I was sick with COVID, I watched like all 6 seasons of Sopranos in a week, and it was like, and because all you're doing is like laying in bed and hitting play, laying in bed, hit play. You can do a season a day, right? And like, I come out and I'm like, hey, I go, what are you going over here for? What? Forget about it. Fuck off.
He got the Italian accent by day 3. Yeah.
Yeah. You've turned into that person by day 3.
And the vernacular.
Hoarders is the same way. So.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah. Some of that stuff scares me.
Well, you know what I think I'm going to do with this show? I'm just going to take the business off of it, and we're just going to call this one Uncensored.
Okay, we could do that. I mean,
Yeah.
I could tell you, there's so much to talk about with IT, but it's boring, and B, it's, like I said, it's the complete spectrum from someone goes, replace my mouse to, okay, make sure North Korea doesn't get in my network.
Okay, so Isaac, this is what I want you to do. Isaac is my editor. Isaac, this is what I want you to do. When you get to this part of the show, what I want you to do is go to the back where we take off track, where we just start talking about other shit out of IT, and be like, they got fucking bored because IT is boring, and talked about other stuff, right? In this little black space up here, that's what I want you to write. So please just write that up there, Isaac, and I'll love you forever. I love talking to Isaac during these because they're pre-recorded and he gets the video. So, and I tell him, like, I gave you instructions, are in the show. So,
so you've seen Animal House, right?
Yeah.
So when Kent and the other kid go to, not the Delta house, they go to the other house first, with all the pretentious guys. And they take them and they go, oh, have you met Jingdish and all these other guys? And they keep getting swept back around. Every time they find themselves in another conversation with somebody else, they always say, oh, have you met Sydney and Jignish and all these guys? Oh, you should hang out here. That's what happens when people start talking about IT. I will take you and I will lead you around somewhere else. And also you're like, wait, we're not talking about IT anymore. What the fuck did you just do?
Yeah, right. Because, I mean, it is what it is. We did find out things we learned today. I love playing what we learned today. Is that if a serial killer from the medieval times wrote a note, you could decipher it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I am about 30 years removed.
You know, it's kind of like me in French in school.
Yeah.
That I ruined some TV shows for you.
You've given me an idea of something to go watch.
And what did you learn today?
I've learned that I can trust who I am. I've learned that, I am sensitive and I'm not afraid to cry in front of women. I also learned that I do like long walks on beaches.
You learned that from this show.
I learned that from you in like the past 22 minutes.
Man, it's been 27, but I guess that first 5 was just about IT. Well, Cory,
that does say 27. I also learned my vision is shit.
Yeah, we've also learned your vision is shit. Well, Cory, thank you for stopping by. This is exactly the show I wanted IT to be.
Yes.
So, if anybody wants, do you want to promote anything on the end of this turd nugget?
You could go listen to my podcast.
There we go.
Shenanigans. It has absolutely nothing to do with IT. It's all about music, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Musical shenanigans. Put that up there, Isaac.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing I did learn from podcasts, I put it on YouTube, even though it's audio only, because I got a face for radio. It's on YouTube now. What the hell? It was the only way to get my mom to figure out how to fucking get there. Jesus Christ. I every time I install something on her phone, it's like, oh, well, this one, it's like a Sketcher or whatever the fuck it was. It was that. And they went away. They're like, all right, we'll use Google. And Google Podcast is going away. That was just when I found out at podcasting. You put it on YouTube. I'm like, there's my answer.
Yeah, YouTube is good for podcasts and finding out how to rebuild an engine and watching streamers, finding out tips on Minecraft, watching old TV shows. So yeah, YouTube. Yeah,
I fixed a washer watching YouTube.
Right?
Yeah.
I watch dumb instructional videos to go to sleep. Like, this is how I made the thing. This is how I made this cabinet. I will never build a cabinet in my fucking life, but I will watch people build cabinets and woodwork and do all of those step-by-step how-to videos because I'm interested. Like, I think the process is absolutely interesting. The tools they use are interesting. I used to do woodworking and construction and stuff, so I get it. But it takes my brain and makes me focus on this process. And so every night I go on YouTube and I'm like, what do I want to watch them make? Let's watch them build a ship. And then like 10 minutes of sleep, I'm asleep. Or 10 minutes later, I'm asleep.
Yeah, it's the age verification that gets me. I'm like, come on, culling is for dummies. Come on.
With that note, I think we're done.
We're done.